Establish a seat that is comfortable and alert. So sitting upright, elevating your buttocks as much as you need with the support of a blanket or a bolster or blocks. So your knees reside below the hip creases. And you should establish the pelvis in such a way where the spine can naturally and effortlessly grow tall. So there isn't an overexertion of effort to sit upright. So if your pelvis is collapsing backwards and you try to lift your spine, you'll notice that it requires quite a lot of effort. If your pelvis is rolled too far forward, you'll feel a sense of compression in the lower back. So just orient your hips in such a way that you feel balanced over the sitting bones, front to back, right to left. Turn your palms upward on your thighs. Close your eyes and go inside. Right away. Exhale all of your air, emptying to the depths of your consciousness, spreading and widening the breath. And as you prepare for your inhalation, inhale very smoothly and take in the sweetness, the fragrance of this moment. As you have an experience with the breath that is beyond just respiration, experiencing the fullness of this life-giving breath. As you recognize the significance of breath. So today we're going to really explore the first klesha in Patanjali's Yoga Sutra, and he describes the kleshas in the second chapter of the Yoga Sutra. And the first klesha is avidya. And avidya, means to negate, and vid means to see or to pierce, and ya means really. So avidya means not really piercing through, so missing the point. And one of the definitions of Patanjali Yoga is actually vidya yoga. And vidya yoga is the yoga of seeing, the yoga of really piercing through the distortions, the confusion, the veils that cover the light within us. And avidya is when we confuse the coverings. We over prioritize maybe the insignificant aspects of our life. We give too much value and too much importance to the things that don't really matter, or to the things that don't really support our experience of wholeness and our experience of connection. So when we look at this word avidya, we're starting to recognize and we're starting to bring light to our confusion between that which is fleeting and temporary, and confusing that with something that's eternal. So thinking that the temporary nature of our thoughts, of our moods, of our life experiences, that they are permanent. It's confusing the non-self or the fragmented self with the true self. It's confusing pleasure with pain, and it's confusing that which is impure or that which is colored as if it is pure essence. So take another smooth breath in. And once again, exhale all of your air out. As you breathe smoothly, we start to experience this cellular response, this cellular activation, which increases our relationship with the pranic body, with the energy body, which ultimately enhances clarity of perception. So Vidya Yoga, it's really getting clear, the clarity of our perception. And we recognize as we start to clarify and purify that actually the veils are conduits to our self-realization and to revelations. So in Vidya Yoga, we recognize that these divine veils, the veils of avidya, are actually the gateway to Vidya. And we learn and we grow through illuminating the distortions, through illuminating our confused priorities, and really getting clear around what is truly important, what is really important to us, what feels authentic to us, what aligns us with our deepest purpose and self. And we can just allow the areas of our lives that we've been maybe over tending to, that aren't supportive, we can let that stuff go. On your next in-breath, gather your hands in front of your heart center. And exhale, bow your head to your heart of hearts. Just take a moment to reflect on something, a challenge in your life or a difficulty that you have been struggling with. And reflect on how that challenge and that difficulty can actually be an opportunity for you to become more clear, an opportunity for you to expand, an opportunity for your transformation. And feel any of the discomfort that may boil up for you through this challenge or this difficulty. And can you just be with the discomfort of it? Can you embrace it, acknowledge it, allow it, without trying to fix it or change it? It is when we accept and allow all of the twists and turns of our lives to unfold that these challenges and difficulties can really move through us and actually be a boon. These challenges become conduits for our personal insights and revelations. And we'll open with the sound of Om together, really invoking and inviting the support of this entire creation as we embark on this inner journey together. Inhale deeply. And exhale all of your air out. Lower your palms, gently flutter your eyes open, and come forward. So we'll explore a little bit today with some postures that might be a little more challenging. Yeah, and see what really arises and what comes up for us and how we can really meet ourselves where we are regardless of what's happening, regardless of the external situation or the difficulty. So spread your fingers, press the pads of your fingers down into the mat, and organize your shoulders directly over your wrists. And I'd like for you to begin by just spinning the upper arm bones in and out a few times. So you're going to externally rotate and internally rotate. And as best as possible, can you keep your back still? Can you keep your kidney line broad? Best as possible, keep the index finger knuckle rooted as you roll the arm bones in and out. And just recognize if one rotation feels more fluid, more accessible than the other. And keep your shoulders wrapping back. So the upper arm bones externally rotate. Begin to draw circles now around your palms. Just massaging the wrists here. Noticing if one wrist feels more fluid than the other, if one wrist feels a little sticky or congested. And you're just taking the seat of the witness, observing. And then reverse the direction, allowing yourself to be fully present with the experience of these sensations that are evoked from these movements. And then come to stillness. Now from here, you're going to bend your right elbow and reach your left arm forward. Pull your left hip bone back, knit your lower ribs together so you bring broadness and width to your lower back ribs. Take a smooth inhalation, expand from your lower back ribs to your left fingertips. Exhale, start to turn your gaze to the right and pull your left hip bone a little further back in space. Breathe smoothly in and smoothly out. Couple more breaths. Inhale, breathing in the nectar of prana, hydrating every cell. And exhale as you widen your breath down to the depths of your being. Inhale, rise back up, slide your left hand under your left shoulder, bend your left elbow now, reach your right arm forward, and pull your right hip bone back in space. Now feel into your lower back ribs. Do they grind into your front body? So widen the lower back ribs, becoming more and more familiar with the unseen, vidya. Start to pierce through your habits, your patterns, your conditioned experience, the muscle patterns and structural patterns in your body that are known or unknown. Pull your right hip bone back and extend your breath from your right kidney all the way to your right armpit, all the way to your right fingertips. Exhale, spread your breath from your kidneys down through your pelvis as you feel into your side body length. Good. And then rise back up. Now, I'd like for you to grab one block, ground your elbows to the floor, shoulder distance apart. Hold on to the block between your hands. And then walk your knees back in space. So your knees reside back underneath your sitting bones. Knit your lower ribs towards your pelvis. Drop your head. And start to pull your hip bones back in space. Press your hands equally into the blocks. Breathe smoothly through your nose. Attuning to the sensations and feelings that present. Feel the texture of your breath through your throat, massaging the vagus nerve as you breathe, activating vagal tone here. So moment to moment, harmonizing your system in such a way that you become restful within the experiences that unfold. Slowly come up. Good. Okay, so we're going to do a little crawling exercise, and we're going to crawl forward and back to start. Okay, so we'll start at the back of the mat, just so you have some space. And when you crawl, you lift the opposite hand and leg and move it forward. You lift the opposite hand and leg and move it forward. Opposite hand and leg, move forward. So you really ground into the hand and the knee that are in contact with the floor and try to synchronize the movement of the limbs that are going forward. Now go backwards. So opposite hand and leg, go back, 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 back. Try to synchronize the movement, moving the limbs together. And then you could try to go forward again. Just feel opposite arms and legs moving in sync, and then go back once more. Okay, good. Now you're going to come down onto your elbows, and we're going to do the same thing. So keep your lower ribs contained and start to walk opposite arm and knee forward. And feel, now that you're down on your elbows, how you have to activate your core a little bit more. And this is definitely a brain exercise, okay? Opposite arm and leg, forward and back. Do it 2 times. Okay, good. And then rise up when you've completed. So now we'll go back onto the hands. And if you want, you'll hover your knees off the floor and you'll do opposite arm and leg forward, hovering, and then opposite arm and leg back. Do 2 rounds up and down your mat. Keep your breath alive, your presence connected to the breath. Good. And then when you've finished, take a little break. Okay, and now we'll do the same thing, but down on the elbows. So if you don't want to hover your knees off the floor, you can keep your knees on the ground, but on your elbows, knit your ribs together, hover your knees off the earth, and walk opposite arm and leg forward. And then backwards. Feel where you feel stable. Feel where you feel wobbly. And this whole process is to really uncrumble the areas that are stuck. Okay, so now we're going to do this sideways. Okay, now this gets a little complicated sideways. So you'll go opposite arm and leg, sideways, and then sideways. Okay, so it's like this. So if I start with my hands together and knees apart, that's usually how my brain can register this. So I'll go opposite arm and leg. So when you go out, knees will come together, hands come apart, and then when you take the next step, hands come together, knees come apart. Okay, so try that. Start with hands together, knees apart, and go in one direction. And try to move in sync. That's the tricky part. And go just back and forth. It's usually when you change directions that your brain has to pause for a moment. Okay, once you've done that, do it on your forearms. So come down to the forearms, knit your ribs together. So if your knees start together and your arms start apart, then it helps to start the movement, or opposite. Keep your ribs contained. Smooth out your breath, even here. Notice when you're really concentrating, how the breath kind of disappears from your consciousness. Okay, good. So once you've played with that, then we're going to hover the knees. So we'll hover the knees first with our arms straight, and then hover the knees with the elbows down on the ground. So begin with either, I like to, it doesn't really matter. You can switch it up, but either knees together, hands apart, or hands together, knees apart. Try not to hover your knees too far off the floor. Yeah, that's it. So you're just a couple inches off the floor, okay? And then you go. Sideward crawl. Good. Take a break once you feel some clarity. And then elbows. So elbows on the ground. If you'd like to hover your knees, feet together, knees together, elbows and forearms shoulder distance apart to begin. And then you can start to move side to side. Try to move the limbs in sync together as one. Got a little confused there. Avidya. Okay, so it's important to also realize that avidya, it really has nothing to do with your intellect. It's not about being smart. One of the definitions of avidya is ignorance. But ignorance is kind of insulting. But if you break down the word ignorance, it actually means to ignore. So it's ignoring something that is really the gateway and the pathway to your evolution and to your experience of growth. So it's not an intellectual process. We can't intellectualize avidya. It's really an experience. Like, well, how do we feel when we're misaligned? Yeah, so we might say all the right things and we might do all the right things. We might do all the right practices, but then within ourselves, there's something that feels disconnected or off. So our behavior and how we feel can really reveal if we're in a state of avidya. Okay, so now this is going to get really fun. Okay, we're going to take a variation of, watch this first because it's a cycle. We're going to do a variation of Anantasana. So you'll extend your left arm and your legs, and you'll just be here and balance, okay? And then we're going to roll onto the belly and come up onto our forearms. And then you're going to roll to the side for Vashistasana and lift the arm. Then you're going to turn down and rise up into plank, and then you'll roll to the side for Vashistasana. Then you'll come down through plank onto the forearms. Wait a second. Hold on. You'll go to the other side, Vashistasana, and then you'll come down to the forearm, Vashistasana, and then you'll come all the way down to the forearms, lower the hips, extend, and we'll be on Vashistasana or Anantasana on the other side. Okay, so we'll start with that. Yeah, so we'll start with the left. Extend your left arm, and you know, in Anantasana, you're really trying to get the entire side of your body imprinted into the ground. Stack your hips, and you can support yourself with your right hand in front of you. Just reach long through your legs and imprint this space into your muscle memory, into your psyche, into your nervous system. Okay, so first you'll roll onto your belly and you'll come up into forearm plank. Then zip your legs together, roll onto your right outer foot and raise your left arm up into forearm Vashistasana. Lower your left hand down, come up through plank with straight elbows. Zip your legs together, roll onto your left foot and lift your right arm up. Lift your hips. Good. Then lower your right hand down. Come back and over to the right side, Vashistasana. Claw your fingers into the floor, plug your shoulder down your back. Exhale, lower down onto your elbows and roll onto your left forearm for plank. Lift your hips, good. And then exhale, roll down, reach your right arm forward and find Anantasana on the right side. Good. Now let's go from the right side. So extend through from your armpit, through your fingers, from your lower ribs, through your heels. Roll onto the belly, come up into forearm plank. Roll to your left, lift your hips. Roll to center, come up into plank. Roll to your right and lift your hips. Maybe lift your left arm. Lower your left hand down. Roll to the right. Lift your right arm. Exhale. Come down to your forearms. Roll to your right side and lift your left arm. And then exhale. Come all the way down. Reach your left arm forward. Anantasana. That's kind of fun. Compliments of Carrie worker. Okay, so now we're going to challenge it a little bit. So Anantasana, your right leg is lifted. So we're going to do this the first round. We're not going to grab the foot, okay? Just lift the leg and find your balance. And I'd like for you to externally rotate the right leg. So your right knee isn't turned forward. Your right knee is really turned more towards your face. Breathe smoothly in and out. And then lower the right leg, roll onto your belly, rise up onto your forearms, and pause. Roll to the right, lift your left arm up, and lift your right leg up. Or sorry, left leg up. That would be really hard. And then left hand down, right hand down, roll to the left foot, lift your right hand, lift your hips, and maybe lift your right leg. Try to spin the hip under. Lower your right foot, lower your right hand, roll to your right little toe side of the foot, lift your left arm, and lift your left leg. Lower your left hand down onto your elbow. Roll to the left little toe side of your foot. Lift your right arm. Lift your right leg. Breathe. Relax your jaw. Release your foot. Lower down and reach your right arm long. And roll onto your side. Okay, take a breath here. Just reflect. Reflect on how you feel. Reflect on your experience. You know, for some of us, this might be really fun. This might be really easy. For others, this might be really challenging, difficult. It might even feel agonizing. So recognize just what your experience is, and can you welcome it? Can you welcome the experience? And can you simply allow whatever it is that needs to be revealed to come to the surface? Now lift your left leg and just be here. Spin your thigh externally. Lower your left leg down. Roll onto your belly. Organize your elbows under your shoulders. Forearm plank. Roll to your left. Reach your right arm up and lift your right leg up. Good. Ground your foot down, right hand down. Come up through plank. Roll to your right. Lift your left arm. Lift your left leg. Keep your hips lifted. Lower your left foot down. Lower your left hand down. Turn to the left. Lift your right arm. Lift your right leg. Use your glutes. Good. Release your right hand. Foot. Come down to your elbow. Elbow variation of Vashistasana. Lift your left leg. Ooh, and then come all the way down. And we're back. Away. We started. Okay. Let's give ourselves a little break. So roll onto your belly. And organize your elbows under your shoulders. So we're going to keep playing with this. We're going to keep playing with different ways of being in this pose, okay? So ground from your lower ribs to your pelvis. Reach from your pelvis to your toes. Spread your fingers. Inhale. Open your chest. And exhale, round your back. Pull your abs in. Inhale. Open the chest and throat. Exhale. Round your spine, pull your belly in. Feel the base of your glutes activate. And one more time. Inhale, open the chest. Exhale, round. Inhale, open your chest. Exhale, now just look back to your right foot. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, look back to your left foot. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, lower yourself down. Take your hands wider than your mat. Take your legs wider than your hips. Yeah, so you're like in an upside down V with your legs. Ground down from your kidneys through your hips, hips through your toes. So you stretch your legs long and then even longer. Plug your elbows towards your shoulders. Inhale, roll up. Pull your belly skin up and in. Exhale, roll down. Good again. Ground from your kidneys to your toes. Inhale, roll up. Plug your elbows towards your shoulders. Exhale as you roll down. Keep your jaw relaxed. One more cycle. Inhale, roll yourself up. Plug the shoulders back. Exhale, down. Now reach your arms wide. So now you're in an X position with your body. Ground from the kidneys to the toes. Extend from the kidneys to the fingers. Inhale, just lift your right arm and your left leg up. And exhale, lower down. Pull your abs in strongly. Inhale, lift your left arm and your right leg. Exhale, lower down. Reconnect your abs to your spine. Inhale, right arm, left leg. Exhale, lower. Inhale, left arm, right leg. Exhale, lower. Now, inhale, keep both feet on the ground. Just lift your right arm and look to the right. Exhale, lower. Both feet press into the earth. Just lift your left arm and lower. Very good. Now, both of your arms go up. Exhale, bend your elbows back in space. Inhale, reach your arms forward again. Reach long through the toes. Exhale, elbows bend. One more time. Inhale, reach forward, soften your eyes, stay embodied. Exhale, bend your elbows. Now ground your hands wider than the mat. Press your feet, pull up through your lower belly skin. Inhale, roll up. Plug your elbows to your shoulders and roll your shoulders back. Exhale, lower down. Ground your hands to the sides of your chest. Inhale, push up into a reverse plank. And exhale to down dog. Now in down dog, look at your hands. Organize them shoulder distance apart. Spread your fingers equally. And then drop your head and look at your feet. Organize your feet hip width apart. Your toes point straight ahead. And start bending one knee at a time. Just feel into the backs of your legs. Feel into the sides of your hips, the sides of your spine. Moving organically here. And then roll up onto your toes and bring your feet together. Bend your knees. Turn the knees to the right. Pulling your right hip back, lengthen your right side body, contain your ribs. Shift your knees back to center and turn your knees to the left. Pull your left hip bone back. Inhale, come back through center. Exhale, lower down. Keep your toes curled under, separate your knees, and extend your arms forward. Push the mat away from you with your hands. Push your hips back into your heels. Very good. Tent your palms now. So you lift the heel of your palm up, extending the cylinders of your arms really long. Walk your hands over to the right. Extend your left arm, bend your right elbow, and turn your ribs. So really lengthen through your side body. Breathe smoothly in. Inhabit your left kidney with your breath. And breathe smoothly out. Gently push the mat away from you with your right hand. Just really sensitizing yourself here. So the more you purify through these techniques, the more you clarify, the lens of your mind, the lens of your heart, your tissues, the more sensitive you become. And as we become more sensitive to life, our perception becomes more clear. Walk your hands forward and then over to the left. Extend from your right kidney to your right fingers. Bend your left elbow. Every exhale, gently push the floor away from you as you turn your right ribs to the left. Breathing smoothly in and smoothly out. Reveal your blind spots. Reveal where there's congestion. Reveal what you need to address physically, mentally, and emotionally. So you just take this time to go inside and to navigate your inner terrain, getting to know this one on all levels. Inhale, walk your hands back to center, and exhale, push your hips back again. Okay, good. Now rise up. So we're gonna come back and forth through some variations of Vashistasana. So we're gonna begin in Forearm Plank. And you're going to squeeze your legs together, squeeze the glutes. So you're engaging the glutes, pull your belly in. You'll roll to one side and you'll lift the top arm. And then we're gonna just play with this top arm. So you'll lift your hips and you'll bend your elbow behind you, your hand behind you. Try not to touch your kidneys, and then you'll reach the arm up. Then you'll bend the elbow and take the hand behind the head and then reach the arm up. And you'll do that a few times, okay? Then we'll come back to plank. You'll go to the other side. You can either have one foot in front of you or you can stack the feet, lift the hips, same thing. Then try not to touch your back body. You're just sweeping the arm toward these points. Kidney line, back of the head. And then you'll come back. Okay, you'll take a little break in Sphinx. And then we'll come back and you'll do the same thing. Again, either one foot in front or feet stacked, arm lifts, leg lifts, and do the same thing. Ooh, so it gets a little challenging with the leg lifted, okay? And then you'll do the other side. Let's try it together. So find your forearms and place them on the mat, shoulder distance apart. Spread your fingers, lift your hips, zip your legs together, engage the base of your glutes, and lift your low belly. Roll onto the left little toe side of your foot, lift your right hand. Again, your right foot can be in front of you here. If you need, you could even drop your left knee to the floor. Then start to sweep the right arm behind, up, and then behind the head. Do 3 times like this. Good, strengthening your left shoulder. And then come through center. Find your forearm plank. Roll to the right side. Again, your knee could be on the floor here, your right knee, and you can do the same work with your left leg lifted. Or you stack your feet, or one foot is in front of the other. Can you identify which shoulder feels more stable? And can you keep your neck really long through this? Come through center, lower your hips. So Sphinx becomes a resting pose. Inhale, stretch your legs long and open your chest. Exhale, round your back. Good. Inhale, open your chest. Exhale, round your back. One more. Inhale, open your chest. Exhale, round. Okay, so now Forearm plank again. Zip your legs together. Engage the base of your glutes and your low belly. Roll onto your left foot. Knee can be on the floor, or you lift your right leg and take the arms. The right hand sweeps into those two positions. Notice when you hurry, like me right now. And then come back to center and roll to the right. Lift your hips. Either feet are stacked, left foot is in front, or you lift the left leg and sweep the arm. 3 times. Ooh, come back down. Lower down. Inhale, open your chest. And exhale, round. So, inhale, open your chest. If it challenges you, it will likely change you. Inhale, open your chest. And exhale, round. All right, come to center. Let's give our shoulders a little rest. So grab a blanket, fold it up, place it at the top of your mat. You're going to take the left arm out to the side, but on the floor, okay? So you'll turn your left ear to the blanket, take your left arm out to the side from your shoulder and roll onto your left hip. You'll take your right foot behind you, and if you'd like, your left foot can come up into figure 4. Your right hand can support you in front of your chest. Breathe. Roll your right shoulder back. And if you want a little more, take your right arm up. Open your chest a little bit more by taking your right arm back in space. So squeezing and soaking your muscles, your cells, your organs, strengthening and challenging parts of your body that have maybe been sleepy or unaddressed. And then lift your right arm up. Now you're going to take your right hand in an upper diagonal to the floor. Upper diagonal. Just feel into your right kidney. And then separate your legs and stretch your legs long and apart. So from your right kidney, reach long into your right heel. From your right kidney, reach long into your right palm. Extend the knees, straight knees, straighter knees, even straighter. There you go. Straight is straight, bent is bent. Release. Roll on your belly. Extend your right arm out. Turn your head to the right and roll onto your right hip. Organize your right hip in a line with your right shoulder. Organize your right fingers in a line with your right shoulder. You can bend your left knee and take your foot behind your right thigh. And then if it's appropriate, you could bend your right knee into breathe. Smoothly in, smoothly out. Feel and experience the nectar of your breath nourishing you, hydrating every cell, imprinting a new response within your nervous system. Good. Now, I'd like for you to extend your left arm in an upper diagonal to the left. So the hand is on the floor. Then you'll separate your legs apart and you'll extend from your left kidney to your left heel. Spread your toes. Extend from your left kidney to your left fingers. Straighten your legs. Straighten them more. And then straighten them fully. Good. Release. Roll back onto your belly. Okay, now ground your hands. Inhale, up. Exhale, back you go. So you're going to take your left knee up, take it over to the right, extend your left leg to the right, and lower your hip to the floor. Now pull yourself. So you're isometrically pulling your hands back in space to roll onto the outer edge of the hip. Yeah? Then you're going to turn your belly toward the floor. And then your choice. Your head can either turn to the right or to the left, whatever suits you. Or you can have a neutral head, extending your right leg long behind you. Turn your right hip down. Pull your left outer hip skin away from the top of your mat. So I like to use my arms on the floor and isometrically pull back with your arms this way. So your chest drags forward and the outer left hip skin moves back. Is that clear? You feel that? Push your arms forward. Feel how the outer hip skin rolls towards your waist. Pull your arms back. Feel how the outer hip skin rolls away from the waist. Yeah, that's the rotation we want. Yeah, we want that. And breathe. Smoothly in. I'm trying to confuse you because we're working with avidya. And our conditionings and our comforts and our habits, patterns, tendencies, all of those things we start to really concretize and identify with, and it creates more confusion. And so when we kind of stir the pot and we challenge ourselves in different ways, we can reveal where we've been blocked, where we've been stuck, where we've been confused, the patterns that haven't been supportive of our wholeness, of our growth, of our evolution. And it's really in that moment that something is revealed, that it can be changed, transformed, and even released. All right. Ground your hands to the sides of your chest. Inhale, roll yourself up. Open your chest, press your right hip bone back, right heel back, Exhale, step back. Downward dog. Take your right knee to your right armpit. Take it to the left. Straighten your right knee. Flex through your heel. Keep your arms straight as you lower your right hip down. Now pull back isometrically with your hands to roll the outer hip skin away from your waist. There you go. And then turn your left kidney any amount to the floor as you lower yourself down. Your choice of head position. You can look left, you can look right, or you can just keep your neck neutral. Again, you can have your arms assisting you here by gently pulling your hands isometrically towards your elbows, your forearms isometrically back in space. Arrive with complete, full involvement with this moment. Giving yourself wholeheartedly to this experience. whatever it is. If it's fun, if it's challenging, if it's nourishing, if it's triggering, the poses reveal. And then how do you either involuntarily react to the posture, or how do you respond to the posture, to the moment? The posture is just a window that allows you to look inside, navigating your inner terrain, recognizing and taking responsibility for your reactions, for your tendencies, for your inherited patterns, your opinions. Okay, ground your hands to the sides of your chest and inhale, roll up. Exhale, step back. Okay, so now you're going to just start on the knees. We'll do this from our knees first. And you're going to just pick up your right knee and take it to your left. And do that several times. Right knee to the left, about 5 times. Right knee to the left, right knee to the left. Okay, and then let's do the left. Left knee to the right, left knee to the right, left knee to the right. About 5 times. Okay, good. Now, you're going to either do the same thing. I want you to be just sensitive to your shoulders, okay? So you'll either do the same thing, right knee to the left, bend, lift, and go back. Left knee to the right, bend, lift, and go back. Notice how I'm turning my head in the direction of the leg. So right knee to the left, bend, lift, go back. Left knee, bend, lift, go back. Okay, so try that. Start in a kneeling position. Pull your belly in strongly. Shift your hips slightly forward. So we're going back and forward, okay? So you're gonna lift your right knee, spin it to the right, left, bend, straighten, and go back. You don't have to bend your elbows, okay? Left knee up to the right, look to the right, lift, and go back. Let's do that 2 more times, each side. Just changing sides. So 3 times total. Ooh. Good. Okay. Take a little rest once you're done. Okay, so we're going to make a bolster. If you don't have a bolster, you could use blocks and a blanket. If you have a bolster, you're welcome to use the bolster. So align your blocks and then unfold your blanket and make a thicker fold that's long and place it on your bolsters or your blocks. Some of you that might be using a bolster, you know, if you're limited to your usage of props, you just have to kind of deal with that with your body variables. But if you have a lot of props and you're really tall, this could be built up a little higher. Okay, so watch. I'm going to show on this side first. Okay, so it's easy to see where we're going. First, I just want you to drop your head and we'll neutralize. Okay, so after we do that, you're going to take your right knee, your left knee to the right. Turn, lower the hip to the support, lower the chest, and straighten your knee. and lift the back leg. Yay! And then you come down, lift, go back, neutralize the head. Right knee to the left, lower the hip, lower the ribs, lower the chest, and straighten your knees. You can look in the direction of the toes, bend, and go back. Feels really nice. So supported Ekapada Kundinasana. All right, so start with your head on the support. So arrange yourself. If you have to lift the support higher, please do so. Just decharge. Good. So we'll start with the left leg to the right. So come forward to plank. Pull your knee up, spin it to the right, lower your hips, lower your chest, straighten the knee, straighten the back knee. You can look to the right, keep your head lifted, pull your shoulders back. Breathe. Wouldn't it be nice if this pose was this simple? It always felt this supported. Release and go back to downward dog. Crown of your head supported. Feel how that decharges you. And let's go to the other side. Come forward to plank. Pull your knee up. Spin it to the left. Lower your hip to the support. Lower your chest and your ribs to the support. Float your back foot up. Straighten your right leg. Look to the right, or sorry, to the left. Gazing at the foot. Breathe smoothly in, smoothly out. And then release. Go back and rest your head. Flex your jaw, your lips, your tongue. And lower yourself down. Okay, so now I'd like for you to come in front of the support, and you might use it for Virasana. So your toes will point straight back, your knees will point forward. Iron the skin of your calves and take a seat on the support. Look at your kneecaps, and as best as possible, you're trying to arrange the tops of your knees so they're parallel and level with the ceiling. So the tendency is for the inner knee to drop. So as best as possible, arrange your thighs. So we're going to start with the hands to the thigh creases. Roll the thigh creases out and down. So that starts to help the femurs spin. Drop the flesh of your outer hips towards your inner heels and just arrive here. Close your eyes. Go inside. And just explore what going inside means to you. As you sit with whatever arises in the field of your heart, in your mindscape, in your tissues, in your joints. And can you sit with yourself, exploring the multi-dimensional layers of your being? Notice your inner voice and how your inner voice speaks to you. Is it loving? Is it kind? Is it critical? Is it judgmental? Recognizing the judge within. Can you hold space for yourself, sacred space for yourself? To simply observe the subjective experience passively, disentangling yourself from the stories that you play over and over. And watch the story. Get to know the story that you've been playing intimately. And feel what is true to you. What is true to the authentic you about that story? What parts of the story would you like to rewrite? And notice if any part of you in this experience contracts. Notice if you try to escape. Notice if you become disembodied. And keep anchoring yourself back. Sitting with all that arises. Gently open up your eyes and slide yourself forward a little bit, sitting in front of the bolster or the makeshift bolster, and lay yourself back into Supta Virasana. If you have a blanket, you can roll the blanket to support underneath your head, so your head and neck aren't cranking back. Just take your arms out and close your eyes, go in. And for some of us, this becomes really intense. For some of us, our ankles, knees, thighs, hips, spine, neck, shoulders, lots of areas might start to speak to you, or maybe they might start screaming at you. And can you be with the discomfort? And at the same time, be sensitive to where you need support. So maybe you need more support under your back. Maybe you need some support under your knees. Keep yourself calm and settled. So it's really your breath that maintains the quality and the atmosphere within yourself that can be restful, balanced, and harmonized. So begin to count your breath. Inhale, a count of 4. At the top, pause for a count of 2. Exhale, a count of 4. And at the bottom, pause for a count of 2. Inhale for 4. Pause for 2. Exhale for 4. And pause for 2. Keep going with this count. And just noticing how this begins to temper your attachments, your compulsions, your stressors, your perceived stress. Because we are all in a place where the systems that we have created, the beliefs that we've had, the judgments and the opinions that we harbor are all being challenged. And the more you can align your inner world, your inner atmosphere in a balanced, moderate space, landscape, the more you can face the challenges with greater equanimity, with greater ease, piercing through the divine veils to discover what you have always known, but your mind has simply forgotten. The sparkling brilliance that is free from sorrow. Exhale all of your air. Ground your hands and push yourself slowly up. Lean forward, straighten your knees, and drop your head. So slowly straightening, just lubricating the joints here as you drop yourself into Uttanasana. Tighten the skin around your knees. Shift your hips forward over your heels. Release any congestion in your neck. Let the base of your skull roll down. And continue with this 4-part breathing. Inhale, a count of 4. Pause for a count of 2. Exhale, a count of 4. And pause for a count of 2. Slowly, slowly bend your knees and take a seat. Remove your support and lay comfortably on your back. Let's actually use the support under our knees. So either your bolster or your makeshift bolster under the knees. Gracefully lay back and arrange your arms equidistance away from your torso. Let your legs completely let go. Close your eyes. Just keeping your senses turned inward. Take a smooth inhalation. And exhale all of your air out. Relax. Take another smooth inhalation. Exhale all of your air out. Relax even more. And take one more smooth inhalation. Exhale, completely relax. Bring your awareness to the top of your head, forehead, face, pit of throat, chest, upper belly, lower belly, hips, thighs, knees, calves, ankles, feet, toes, feet, ankles, calves, knees, thighs, hips, lower belly, upper belly, chest, pit of throat, face, forehead, top of head. Total relaxation. A very smooth, gentle, invigorating breath in. Exhale to the depths of your consciousness. Wiggle your fingers, your toes, nod your head gently side to side. And very slowly, take your time. Reach your arms up, bend your knees, roll to one side. Pause. Use your left hand to rise up. Find a very comfortable and alert seat. Gather your hands and bow your head. Just acknowledging yourself, your process, whatever has come up for you, just allowing it to flow, to move as it reveals itself. That's the opportunity and the possibility to let go. With gratitude, namaste.